Hey guys, so it's day 10 of water fasting here at True North, and we're both kind of beaten down a little bit, pretty tired. So just kind of recap, because we haven't done a video since the first day getting here. When we first arrived, we got our initial blood work done, or I got my blood work done rather, actually. So the next morning, we went in, we saw Dr. Soler, would be our doctor at True North. He did a history and physical of both of us. So we both had appointments back to back, so we kind of did them together. Very in-depth history.
Took almost 2 hours for both of us.
Yeah, hour and 50 minutes. Very in-depth, very nice guy. So after that, Natalie's physical had been done like a week before she arrived, so all the blood work was up to date. She didn't have to do any. Mine, however, had been done like 4 or 5 months ago. So they gave me a little card saying to get your blood work done the coming Tuesday, so like 2 days later.
No, the following day, Thursday.
No, Tuesday.
Okay.
So that blood work was actually done when I was fasting for 36 hours, because our last meal was Sunday at 6 p.m. That day we were also able to pay for the trip. They're very flexible on paying. So we had all of our money in our account anyway, but we decided they had her credit card on file from when we paid our deposit, and my credit card, and we did a check. So we just did, a couple $1,000s on hers, a couple $1,000s on mine, and then did the rest on a check.
Yeah.
We have cashback credit cards, and we just paid it off right afterwards.
It was simple, easy.
It also, sometimes when there's huge checks, it kind of go, I don't know. So it's nice that they had the flexibility. So Natalie has been using a foam mattress.
I don't know if you can tell, but this side of the bed is thicker than this side. It's because I sleep on this side. These are Sleep Number beds, also called anti-Natalie contraptions. A lot of people like them, and for the first couple of days, the bed itself felt fine. But as you start getting sore, which is one of the symptoms that you go through while fasting, it just did not work for me. I ended up on the couch most days, most nights. I was getting very little sleep, not just because I had a cold, but because I couldn't take the feel of the bed. So somebody told me, hey, they have those mats that you can put, those foams that you can put on your bed. And at first they told us, oh, we don't have a king size one right now, but we can put, one, the single. And it's perfect because he doesn't want it.
The bed's fine myself. The pillow could be better. I miss my pillow at home, but I get enough sleep.
For me, yeah, he's fine. He gets 7 hours usually. I have been averaging around 3.5, and I've been kind of increasing towards 5. I think last night I got 6. So the mattress, the foam has really helped. If you come here and you have a problem with the bed, they'll work with you. There are other people that have other modifications too. So it took me a little too long to figure that out. So
it's been a little hard for me to fall asleep. Lately I've been getting a lot of cravings, especially last night. I'm just thinking about food, which
obsessively, yeah.
Yes, and to the point to where it's almost anxiety related. So it kind of makes sense. The longest I've been able to keep a full vegan diet is a week. So I would consider myself in a bit of a detox state, because I'm really going through, because those junk foods really give you quite the dopamine hit. So that's probably no reason that I haven't made it past a week in the past. That's the hardest time, maybe. I'm just guessing.
I mean, the whole fast is detoxing, but even worse because he hasn't really made it past this point. This is the first time that's happened, so maybe that's why it's just...
And once I start refeeding, we'll see, because we're here for 10 days, so that's over a week as well. So we'll see how well that goes after I've been eating the diet for a week.
The refeeding is 10 days.
Yeah. 10, 11. We leave on the 11th day. But it's also been really hard to concentrate. They have lectures 3 days a week, 10:30, 2 o'clock.
3 times a day, every day.
And then like 5 or 6, I forget exactly what the evening time is.
I think on Saturdays and Sundays they may have less, but
Right.
For the most part, at 10 in the morning, at 2 in the afternoon, at 6:30 in the evening, they may have something a little extra at 7 p.m.
So we go to some of them. It just depends on what the lecture is about.
And
I've
it depends
decided
on
not to
you.
going like, right now to the cooking demos, and there's some like meditation healing. They said it was really good, but I just didn't feel up to it. You know, some of the biological stuff has been interesting, but it's a lot of what I already learned in like anatomy and physiology.
I like
In
them.
nursing, but she hadn't heard it before. And for a lot of other people who don't have a medical background, it can be really useful to be like, oh, well, that's why it works that way.
Mhm.
Another thing is we are both been pretty orthostatic, which means we get dizzy when we stand up, and just dizzy intermittently. When I'm sitting at the lecture, sometimes I'll have a bout of wooziness.
Sitting up for a long time, you don't realize that that's work until you're drained, and also because you're focusing. So your energy goes towards focusing, and then the rest of you kind of starts going like you just don't realize just how much energy it takes to just be, which is why they tell you to rest. So there's two kinds of things happening: is that you have to rest, but you're also kind of like you're a little bit, I don't want to say bored because you don't have the energy to be bored, but at the same time you feel restless a bit, even though you can't really do anything. You're too tired. As soon as you start doing something, you're like, ugh, never mind.
So they told us to increase our water intake. In our physical, they're like, yeah, drink at least 4 cups a day. You know, 10's probably the max. Now they're telling us to shoot between 7 and 10. You know, me to try to drink 10.
Based on how we did in the beginning.
Yeah, well, especially so they did repeat labs. We had my labs were done Tuesday, and then our next labs were done the next Monday. Her lab work was good. Mine showed that I was what's called hemoconcentrated, which means I'm a bit dehydrated. So they want me to increase my water intake. Plus, my kidney function was a little more poor. It was normal before. There's 2 numbers that follow kidney function. There's your BUN and your creatinine. And my creatinine was a little elevated. It was 1 last week, and it's 1.36, which is just like, it's marginally higher. It's 0.09 high outside of lab values. So the doctor's a little concerned there. So they went ahead and they're going to retest that. On the other side, my liver
Did the test already?
they tested this morning. We haven't got the repeat
Results
results back. I
will
made
be
sure I drank
tomorrow.
plenty of water before getting my blood work done.
Yeah.
The other part that was different was my liver enzymes. My liver enzymes were pretty high the last physical I had, and I've had a fatty liver. I've had the ultrasound done and such, and my liver enzymes are greatly improved. One of them is still elevated, so we'll see how that is. It's interesting though, because the liver enzyme tests usually go up while you're fasting because your liver is put under a lot of stress from processing all the ketones. And then another thing to add on that is, so every day at 8 a.m. we have either a doctor and one of the medical assistants come in and take our vital
Not
signs.
either or, we have both.
Both, yeah.
Both come.
Sometimes one's running late and they're kind of separate. And then we have a doctor come in at 4 o'clock and do kind of like a follow-up.
Mhm.
So they'll take the blood pressure, pulse, they'll ask how much you weigh. And on that note, so I've lost 21 pounds since being here. I lost 17 pounds before even coming here. So right now I'm 266, and I was 304 2 weeks before coming here, and 287 the first day I got here.
You lost the 17 pounds before coming here by being on the diet that they recommend.
With
So as strictly as possible.
With some cheating.
Yeah.
The first week of the 2 weeks, I was perfect, and then I cheated a bunch over the weekend. Got back on the boat a little bit, cheated again, and yeah.
But you lost 17 pounds before you got here, which was great. That's a good.
And you've lost about 15 pounds since being
While
here.
being here, I've lost 15 pounds in 10 days.
So they tell us, expect to gain another 10 pounds at the end, or possibly as much as 50% of what you lost. So that's still.
No, they said about 50% of what you lost and maybe more.
Mhm.
Some people lose less. It depends, but we'll see. The point is not necessarily the weight loss now. The point is getting set up to have the weight loss with the food, so that right now when we're in ketosis, we're obviously burning fat. We're never going to burn fat like this while eating. So the fat loss that's gone. We're not getting to get that back unless we eat it. So we're set up for a good diet afterwards, and that will continue the weight loss.
On the same strand of not being able to concentrate easily. So they give you this huge binder of DVDs, which they're awesome. We've watched about 4 or 5 so far, but we found it's very hard to concentrate on a screen. And I've had a hard time watching movies in general, even just movies we want. So when we have watched a movie, it's been movies that we've already seen. So we can zone out for a little bit and then get back onto it. It's just something
To have
kind of keeping
yeah.
us occupied, because like for me, I've been listening to my audiobooks a lot because I just try to keep my mind off food. So.
And try and just keep your mind occupied. You can't be sleeping the whole time, but you're laying there and you're thinking, and then sometimes you just want something to think about. The other thing about the DVDs is they recommend, everybody's a little bit different. There's a few people that they watch 2 DVDs a day. You know, one of our neighbors, he does all the lectures. So, you know, he doesn't seem to have the same...
He's been here before, though. He's done a
Yeah.
long-term fast.
Right, and so some people, you know, they said, oh, I had no problems. I had low energy, but that was it. We're the youngest people here. We have a pretty long list of symptoms. You just never know where you're going to land on certain things. I watched tons of YouTube videos before coming here, and certain people said different things, and I feel like I've gotten them all. So, you know, you just go through it. That's why the doctors check on you, make sure that everything, despite what you're feeling, everything is still going well. So
Right, so like at one point when we told the doctors, both of us at one point had some shortness of breath when we got up and moved around. So that prompts them in their assessment, okay, well, let's listen to your lungs. Let's ask you kind of what your respiratory history is. From when I had it, they also did what's called SpO2 monitor. They check your pulse ox. They just want to make sure everything's within normal parameters. There's nothing to worry about, it's just to watch. So Natalie also was very happy to find out that they allow SodaStream bubble water. It's mostly for people who are having some indigestion, so apparently that can help. Natalie just enjoys it though, because at home we had a SodaStream, recently broke, and so they give you these bottles and you can just go into the kitchen and charge with some soda and you know, just water.
Anytime Tim has ever tried this, he makes
Yeah,
what's the face?
because well, right now though the water tastes very metallic. When you're detoxing, it gets very metallic. So the SodaStream, that bite of the carbonation is actually more comfortable than the metallic taste.
Mm-hmm. I think you're gonna end up liking it. You're gonna go home and say, "Hey, we should buy."
I mean, maybe I'll put
SodaStream.
some. You know, Dr. Goldhammer in some of his talks has actually talked about just putting a little bit of natural juice, like squeezing a little bit of lemon, or you know, some orange juice or something, which sounds reasonable. We've also been taking some walks because we've been in bed a lot and resting a lot. So they have a courtyard area in the middle. So we just do like 4 laps around the courtyard and try to get
small courtyard.
Yeah.
So when we say 4 laps,
We'll go ahead and show you right after this.
at a slow pace.
Yep.
So the whole point is not to like do some cardio. You're not. No, the point is just to move around a little bit. Also to have something to do.
All right, well, so let's go ahead and give you just a very quick, brief tour, and we'll go ahead and end the video.
Okay.
So, it's going to get to move around so you can see the bed in the background here. There's a closet there with the mirror, some end tables, a desk, and you have a private bathroom, which, you know, nothing special about it. You got a shower in the back here too. So we'll go ahead out to the common area. So we got our neighbor's room there, the bathroom. Here is the common area. And this is the kitchen, which is mostly just for water. So we got a big thing of water there, some glasses, the fridge, which you can get cold water in. And let's go ahead and look outside just briefly. Got some people. Let's see if I can get the focus out there. There you go. So